What if I told you that every design that you ever looked at, every ad, every poster, every website, even this video right now, has already decided what you notice first before you even realize it? That's hierarchy. And while hierarchy sounds like one of those boring design terms that professors toss around to you at class, it is actually an invisible force that is shaping how you see the world. Today, I want to give you a new perspective on hierarchy. Not the usual make the headline bigger than the body text version, but the philosophical side. Why hierarchy works in graphic design, why our brains crave it, and how us as designers wield it almost as if it's a superpower. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's get into it. Think about the last time that you were at a museum. Maybe at first you walked into a room full of art, and at first maybe it was a bit overwhelming, but then bam, one painting grabs your attention and you walk towards it. Maybe it's the lighting, the size, the frame. Something told your brain, start here. That's hierarchy. It is like that invisible tour guide that tells you where to look first. Without hierarchy, design is just noise. Without hierarchy, design would just be design. All the elements would be screaming at you at once, all at the same volume. And with hierarchy, it becomes a guided experience. It has rhythm, it has order, it has meaning. We as designers, we talk about hierarchy as a pyramid. At the top, the most important element, and usually it's a title or a headline. And then after that comes your supporting info, subtitles, imagery, and at the very bottom, details like body copy or footnotes. But let's expand this idea, because hierarchy isn't just about text. It applies to everything, imagery, buttons, even the white space. It is like an orchestra. The violin might carry the melody. They are your headline, but without the cellos and percussion, aka your supporting elements, the piece feels flat. Hierarchy is like the conductor who decides who plays loud, who plays soft, and when to pay attention to what. Okay, so let's get into the philosophical part. Why does hierarchy work on us? It is because we as humans, our brains crave order. We are naturally wired to find patterns. We naturally put things into sequence. And without hierarchy, our minds panic. They don't know where to start. Gestalt psychology actually studied this. Humans look for clarity in chaos. We want to know what's first, what is second, and what follows. We want to know what matters most. So every time that you design, you're not just arranging visuals. You are creating a worldview. This matters more than that. And when you really think about it, that's kind of a wild responsibility, right? Okay, so now let's ground this in the practical. How do you actually create hierarchy? Well, guess what? You have 5 main tools in your kit: size, colors, font, placement, and white space. So let's break them down. First up, we have size. Big text equals big voice. It is really that simple. Your headline should look like it's shouting from the rooftop, and your body copy more of a polite whisper. And next, we have color. We already talked about contrast on this channel. That grabs attention. Bright red on black, it screams a lot louder than a pale gray on white. Just make sure that you're not sacrificing readability. No one likes a neon yellow headline that just burns your eyes. And then third, we have fonts. We've talked about this on the channel as well. Fonts have personality. A bold sans serif, it might be your loud, extroverted friend. A delicate serif font might be your calm, intellectual one. And if you pair them together, you're basically casting roles. It's like you're a director of a play. Okay, and number 4, we have placement. Where you put something, it actually really matters. Western readers tend to scan a page in a Z pattern or an F pattern. Headlines often go on the top left, but you could break that rule if you're intentional about it. The placement of where your elements go is like stage direction. You're basically telling the reader, enter here and exit here. And number 5, white space. This one is so underrated. Sometimes the loudest thing that you could do is nothing. Giving something some space, it makes it feel more important. Just like in music, sometimes if there's a bit of silence, it makes the next note hit even harder. Movie posters, they tend to give you the title in bold. The star actors are always a little smaller, And the fine print, it's way down at the bottom. That right there is hierarchy at work. Magazines, they're the masters of drawing you in with a huge headline. Then they kind of layer the supporting text after that, usually like around the model's face. And good hierarchy, it feels seamless. You don't even notice it. Whereas bad hierarchy, it feels like you're standing in a crowded bar. You know, when everyone's yelling at the same time and all you want to do is get the hell out of there. Yeah, please, don't be that designer. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting because hierarchy, it isn't neutral. It is not about just design, it is about persuasion. Think about ads. The discount price, it's always huge. And the catch, that's always in tiny fine print. That is hierarchy right there being used to manipulate you. Or there's even the example of news design. The headline is always in a big, bold font, and that usually shapes how the reader perceives the story. It's always about what is emphasized and what is buried. So yeah, I hate to break it to you, hierarchy isn't just about making pretty layouts. It is about the power of persuasion. And as designers, we have the power to decide what deserves that attention. That power comes with responsibility. To be clear, to be honest, and not to bury the truth in a 6-point type. And here's a little peek into my thought process when I'm choosing hierarchy in real time. First, I ask myself, what is the star of the show? Maybe it's the event title. I make that thing big. And then I ask myself, what is the next bit of important information? And usually if we're talking about a poster, it is like the date, time, and location. And I make that a little smaller than the headline. And then lastly, it's usually the details. And that could go towards the bottom in a very much quieter font. It's not random, it's storytelling. You are guiding the viewer through a narrative. First this, then that, then the rest. So here's the big takeaway. Hierarchy, it isn't just a principle of graphic design. It is actually the backbone of visual storytelling. It guides our attention, it creates meaning, and sometimes it even manipulates. And that means as a designer, you're not just decorating. You are directing, you are deciding what gets the spotlight and what fades into the background. So next time that you're designing, ask yourself what deserves the spotlight. Because if you don't decide, then chaos will ensue. Okay guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. If this gave you a new perspective on hierarchy, feel free to like this video. Hit that subscribe button for more deep dives. And tell me in the comments, what's the sneakiest way that you have ever used hierarchy? I would love to know. That's all I have for you now. Okay, see you next time. Bye.